revolution. Oh, no, we can't be this and that. Oh, no, it's not about violence. Oh, yes, it is. It's about force. If you go into the laws, I hear these Moors talking about, oh, well, we need sovereignty and we need to learn the laws and this and that. But you know, the white man has force. He has a military and he has an army to enforce what he's saying. So with that being said, we can talk about this, that, and the other, but we know what we need to do as warriors. Black women can't raise us as warriors. That's something that we need to take on ourselves. That's why I'm glad we got brothers like Brother Ray Hagin to go back to the original source and read out what's being said. Yeah, we need black women. You know, I remember I was watching, it was either Brother Ray Hagin or Ashra Kwesi said that the woman, she presents the power to the man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, let me give you an example, like the Coast Guard in Somalia, right? In order for them to do what they did, they needed the villagers' approval. They need the women and the children, all of them say, yeah, go ahead and do it. And with that being said, they went on ahead and do what they had to do, the Somalian Coast Guard, you know what I'm saying, to fight against these pirates that were dumping toxic waste on their shores. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, we need to, like I said, come together. We need cultural privacy as far as what we need to do, no outside influence. And that includes Islam, Judaism, Christianity, and all that other mumbo jumbo that keeps us divided. Let's leave that at the door.
Let me chip in a sentence before. You see, there is what we call parity. Parity means respect. Any trade agreement starts with cultural affinity. You look at me in the face, you understand who I am, I understand who you are, business starts. That's exactly what is going on now. We thank God that the timing is right. Our brothers and sisters, I just arrived from the continent yesterday. And when the president of the country is saying, I want to sit down with my brothers and sisters. Whatever profession you are, whatever you are doing, I want to sit down and do whatever you want me to do for you. This is the land, this is the sea of O for you to now build what you want to build. This is immunity for almost about 30 or 40 years without paying tax, whatever you can dramatize. This is educational facility for the institute. These are resources that can be diverted to you as my brother.
That's right.
The leaders are saying that it is not just by word of mouth, by saying there is a letter written. This is from the state government. And whoever is leading the trade possibility, it took us almost since 1996 to advocate this. Because one, we have to build credibility. We have to bring honesty within ourselves, truth. When you understand who I am and I understand you, I say, yes, I believe in who you are. And we can move forward.
And it's so
That's
important
exactly
to
what
build
is
those.
happening now.
It's so important to build those key principle constructs because
right.
the perception of Africa is that it's corrupt. Now, let me just put a pause in that and say, how can you not look at America and say the same thing? And we still push that aside and conduct our business.
Those are semantics.
It's semantics. And so we do have to stand on principle, make it coming from the African center, but I also believe we need to inhale and bring in those who are willing to support those principles, no matter what color, no matter what sex they are. I would like to defer for a moment, Mark, and allow our griot here to speak to the issues that's on your heart, because I know if you speak to the issue that's on your heart, you'll be speaking to the soul of man. So would you grace us, please?
Thank you, brother, and I honor the panel. It's so good to be here with you today. Listening to all that has been said, let me start off by saying a false hope is no hope at all. Got to remember that. A false hope is no hope at all. I listened to all of the various plans and agendas and projections that are stated as to our coming together as Africans. And personally, I believe, let's be clear, let me say this up front, I am a black African nationalist. Okay, I am strictly for us, our people. I'm sure that there are other people out there for their people, but I am an African, so my focus is for my people.
It's natural.
It's natural, thank you. One of the things I think we should keep in mind as our great ancestor warrior scholar, Dr. John Henry Clark, said to us, we must never make the mistake of thinking that those who suppressed us and put us in this position that we are in are going to sit back and allow us to now be free. We must never make that mistake. And as long as they are in power, they're going to do whatever they have to do to maintain that power. For example, I'm listening about the African Union being in place and the effectiveness that it is having, whatever that is. I'm not particularly aware of it, but I do know that it was not strong enough to prevent the United States government from implementing the military takeover of the entire continent of Africa just a few months ago. While we were all distracted with Obama mania, George Bush implemented AFRICOM. So whatever we're talking about as far as a union, okay, of Africans and our empowerment, the United States government now has military bases in every country in Africa, meaning that this military is the predominant force now in our motherland. We must not get away from that. And then we got to keep in mind that this is the fulfillment of a program that's been put in place back in the 70s, actually before then, but the document, and as one of my favorite phrases is, don't take my word for what I'm saying, check it out for yourself. And that is National Security Council Memorandum 46. National Security Council Memorandum 46 was composed by Zbigniew Brzezinski, which happens to be President Barack Obama's chief advisor. Now, you got to understand, Zbigniew Brzezinski was the national security advisor back in the 70s. And before him, it was Henry Kissinger, okay? Here you have people, man, who have put plans in place that says we must never allow Africans to unite. Never, okay? And if you read this document, anyone listening right now, just Google it. I'm glad you said that at the beginning of the show. Google NSC, that's National Security Council Memorandum 46. Google that. And you'll read this document, what actually says that the resources of the continent of Africa are vital to the national security defense needs of the United States of America. So therefore, this government, the United States of America, has focused on eliminating Africans so that they can have the resources of the land. The World Conference that was held in 2000 in Johannesburg, South Africa, I can't call the exact name of it now, but it was held and the topic was, how will the world survive? In that conference held in Johannesburg, South Africa, they said these words. They said, it is the resources of Africa that we need. The people of Africa we can do without. Now, we're talking all of the programs that's in place, but nobody's addressing the unseen hand here. See? And what we must understand is how the unseen hand works is they put up all this stuff over here showing your attention. Look at this hand, but you don't see what this hand is doing down here. Okay, and for our salvation, for our survival, we must begin to recognize and identify and call it like it is and see what the unseen hand is doing. And in order for us to empower ourselves, we must understand, I personally believe, that our deliverance is in our own individualized empowerment. They, yes, the powers that be, yes, are never going to let us come together as a corporate entity because we don't have a military to defend it.
Hello.
Therefore, I think it's imperative that every one of us get the enlightenment, and that's why we have you on the show. Because and that's why we have you on the show. Because we know that if we can get the enlightenment out there to everyone, then it's birthed within each individual. Yes. You know, when Dr. King was killed, they said 12 cities went up in flame instantly, and then they got out, they did a study, I don't know if it was a Sullivan Act, but they did a study to determine who the ringleader was. Mm-hmm. And what the study determined was that there wasn't